Boris Pistorius, der designierte neue Verteidigungsminister, hat kurz nach seiner Ernennung gesagt, dass Deutschland eine indirekte Kriegspartei ist. Was bedeutet diese Aussage im Kontext des Ukraine-Krieges?
Boris Pistorius, the new defense minister designate, said shortly after his appointment that Germany is an indirect war party. What does this statement mean in the context of the Ukraine war?
Well, I mean, he's acknowledging that Germany is a party to the conflict. He's trying to distance himself from responsibility, though. An indirect war party. What does that mean? Germany is providing material assistance to Ukraine. The Ukrainian defense minister has said straight up that the Ukrainian military is a proxy to NATO. And the sole purpose of this proxy is to fight and destroy, kill, defeat the Russians. That means NATO's at war with Russia. That means Germany is at war with Russia. So with all due respect to the new German Minister of Defense designate, you're not an indirect party to the conflict. You are a direct party to the conflict. And let me remind him how thankful he should be that Russia is the opponent, because I'm here to tell you right now, Mr. Designated German defense minister, if you were an indirect party to a conflict involving the United States, we would kill you. We would destroy your cities. We would destroy your production means. Own confession is an active participant in the proxy war being waged by NATO against Russia.
Welche Konsequenzen könnte Pistorius' Aussage nach sich ziehen und was bedeutet es für Deutschland, Kriegspartei zu sein?
What consequences do you think this could have, and what does that mean for Germany?
Well, fortunately for Germany, as I said, they're not fighting the United States, or else the consequences would be the termination of Germany as a modern nation state. We don't tolerate indirect conflict, not on this scale. The goal of the Ukrainians aren't to, have limited military objectives. The goal of NATO through Ukraine is to bring harm to Russia of such an extent that Russia, is diminished as a power. If anybody tried to use conflict to diminish America as a power, we would destroy you. Fortunately for Germany, their opponent is Russia, who appears to be the only adult in the room, especially their leader, Vladimir Putin. Eskalation management seems to be the name of the game for the Russians, how to resolve this military problem and political problem that is Ukraine without escalating the conflict into direct NATO-Russian conflict, because that would mean the end of the world. Again, this German defense minister needs to really weigh his words, an indirect party to the conflict. Does he not understand that a direct war between NATO and Russia would result in a thermonuclear exchange that would end all life in Germany? Do the German people not get it? Have they not woken up to the consequences of the irresponsible actions of their government? And does he not know the history of this conflict, the role played by Angela Merkel in lying about wanting to embrace the Minsk Accords, wanting to, head down a path of peace all the time, using that as a sham to buy time to build up the Ukrainian military for the sole purpose of engaging the Russians? Germany isn't just an indirect participant. Germany created this war. Germany created this war. So you, defense minister designate, are a party to the conflict. And if it does escalates to a direct conflict with Russia, you will die. Your family will die. You will die. Everybody listening to this program will die. Germany will cease to exist along with the rest of the world. So stop playing cute word games. The consequences of Germany's actions are dire. Now, fortunately, Russia isn't going to allow this to escalate into a direct conflict. But Russia is going to win. Russia will destroy Ukraine. And that, again, is thanks to Germany. Every dead Ukrainian, every destroyed Ukrainian city, every destroyed Ukrainian business, piece of critical infrastructure is because of Germany. Germany did this. Germany is the warmongering nation. And so what are the consequences? Germany's going to have to live with this. At some point in time, hopefully a new German political leadership that doesn't include anybody linked to Angela Merkel's horrific decision to use Minsk as a sham to promote war over peace. A new German political party will say, we have to learn to peacefully coexist with Russia in a post-Ukraine environment. And at that time, hopefully, they will work with Russia constructively to come up with a new European security framework that is designed to promote, facilitate peaceful coexistence. But if that doesn't happen, and Germany continues to be ruled by people of this ilk, then Germany will diminish as a power. Already their economy is collapsing. Already I think, I don't mean to laugh, but Germany's military, with all due respect to the new Minister of Defense designate, is a joke, a literal joke. And he should pray that no German soldier ever has to face off against Russia on the field of battle, because that would literally be the shortest fight imaginable.
Polen macht weiterhin Druck auf Berlin und hat nun angekündigt, dass man seine Leopard II Panzer auch ohne deutsche Bewilligung an die Ukraine liefern könnte. Was bedeutet diese Entwicklung für die deutsch-polnischen Beziehungen?
Poland is putting more and more pressure on Berlin and has now announced that the Leopard II tanks could also be delivered to Ukraine without German approval. What does this mean for the German-Polish relationship?
Well, if Poland goes through this, it means that Germany has defined itself as a cuckold, literally a neutered nation. You stand for nothing. You are nothing. You mean nothing. There is legal, constraints over repurposing, equipment purchased by Germany. Poland's not allowed to do this by law. So what is Poland telling Germany? You're such a pathetic, weak little nation that we, Poland, the great Poland, who has defeated Germany. Oh, wait, Poland has never defeated Germany in the history, but apparently Poland believes that it can do so now politically. I'm not advocating a military conflict between Germany and Poland, but I am saying that Germany needs to stand up and act like a sovereign state. Stop kowtowing to the desires of a suicidal Polish president and a Polish nation that's gone insane about the potential of perhaps reacquiring Western Ukraine as part of a larger Poland. This is the same Poland that's insisting that Germany pay it reparations for the Second World War. Germany literally is a cuckold nation. Do something, Germany. Stand up. Either say, yes, we're going to give Leopard tanks to Ukraine, and we'll take the lead. And when we decide, Poland, when we decide, you can do so, but only when we decide. Assert yourself. Be something. Be somebody. Stand for something. But instead, it's just this pathetic little nation saying, do what you want, Poland. Don't worry. We don't know what to do. Come on. Where is Germany as a nation? What do they stand for? And apparently the answer is nothing. Nothing. They stand for nothing.
Zusätzlich zum Druck auf Berlin erhöht Polen seine Rüstungsausgaben. Was denken Sie, welche strategischen Ziele Warschau in Osteuropa aktuell verfolgt?
Poland is also arming itself massively. What do you think? What strategic goals is Warsaw pursuing in Eastern Europe?
Well, this is a more difficult problem because Poland's under a lot of pressure from NATO to serve as the bulwark of a new Eastern front against Russia. And Poland is inviting the United States to forward deploy American military resources on Polish soil. The United States has put a core level headquarters, and we're in the process of permanently positioning at least one heavy brigade, maybe another. But the United States has made it clear that we're not doing this by ourselves. We're not going to be the only force on this border. That if Poland wants to invite American troops, then Poland needs to step up to the plate, and Poland's doing just that. They're stepping up to the plate. In isolation, this would just be a waste of money because, again, I think it's clear Russia has no intent on invading Poland, invading the Baltics, provoking a conflict with NATO that could easily turn nuclear in nature. So, I don't know what Poland thinks it's trying to accomplish doing this. Now, the danger is that this mobilization is more than simply strengthening the frontier. Poland is building forces that are offensive in nature. And there's been a lot of talk in Poland about taking advantage of the potential collapse of Ukraine to absorb Western Ukraine into Poland, to move Polish forces into Western Ukraine. And there's a danger now that Poland is building up these military resources that they'll think they actually have the capacity to do this. They'll fool themselves into thinking, whoa, this could actually happen. I would advise them to take a look at Belarus and the formation of the joint Belarus-Russian army group there and its military capability and what one of its primary missions is, and that is to kill every Polish soldier who crosses into Western Ukraine under the belief that they can turn Western Ukraine into an extension of Poland. The Belarus president, Lukashenko, has said under no circumstances would his nation allow this to happen, and that if Poland were to do that, then Belarusian forces would join Russian forces in moving south to destroy any Polish force that seeks to occupy Western Ukraine. So, again, we need sane leadership in Warsaw, and we don't have it. We have insanity, we have hyperbole, we have irresponsible rhetoric, and unfortunately, this rhetoric is being matched by actions which, if not constrained, could lead to a war. And let me remind you that if Poland moves into Western Ukraine, it's doing so as Poland, not as NATO. There are no NATO protections attached to these Polish troops. So when Russia kills them all, as they will, Article 5 will not be invoked. Article 4 will not be invoked. Poland is acting on its own. And so Polish troops will die alone on foreign soil, far from home, for an act of nationalistic stupidity.